Hey, cops put cameras in the ducks. Yeah, man. Like 70% of ducks you see, man, they ain't ducks. They cop ducks. They just robot ducks, man. They ain't even robots. They ain't even metal. They
You thought
would, dog.
pigeons were fake,
Ask
dude. You
anybody,
don't
dog.
even know.
Ask anybody who ever been to jail. They'll tell you, dog, yeah, most ducks you see floating by, they barely moving because they wood. And they got cameras in them. And them cameras go right back to the police station,
Bet you
dog.
didn't know that.
So if you doing bad stuff at a creek, you doing bad stuff at like a lake, and you see a duck, one of them is snitch. Never know which one either. That's why I'd be like, hey, get up and fly, man. Get up and fly. Because, like, all these cops, they ain't got ducks that got, like, flying cameras in them or whatever.
Right.
Any duck that never flies, they are cop, man. They got a camera in them. But you don't want to know that because you ain't ever been to jail. But the real ones know.
Real ones.
The real ones know. Ducks can't be trusted. That one flew. That one a homie.
Welcome, Duke. Welcome back to the swamp. Everybody, welcome. Joey says we're late. Fuck him. Hey, you thought birds weren't real? Ducks ain't real. You know what you're
ducks
talking.
are birds, aren't they?
Hey, you got a point
They're
there.
they're just a different kind of bird, right? Water bird.
We're trying to broaden everybody's knowledge base. They're so focused on pigeons not being real. They got the diagrams. They got it all figured out, but they forgot about the ducks.
Yeah, they always get you when you least expect it, because ducks are kind of like, no one gives a shit about pigeons. Pigeons are nasty. They're like flying rats. They want to believe negative things about pigeons. People already do believe negative things about pigeons, but with ducks are usually kind of like adorable.
Ducks are chill, right?
They're chill.
Yeah.
Like people like ducks. Ducklings are like something that are supposed to be really nice and cute.
Right.
They had a duck on Friends.
Yeah. The whole Duck Dynasty built on ducks.
Duck Dynasty, exactly.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't expect it to be spying on you, just like you don't expect.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. Whatever.
All good, man. Welcome back.
Good to see you again, Tim.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Joey's in the chat, says, "Who the hell is that guest host?" Well, it's Duke. I think I don't know if you caught it the other night. It's kind of weird coincidence. We were talking about you because of the boys, the frat boys that were stealing your outfit. And I made the comment that like these fuckers don't even have the common decency to wear short version. They only had the real long pants because they're a bunch of pussies. And I said like our friend Duke, he does that. And Rob's like, "Who's Duke?" And I don't know if he's just fucking with me or what the hell, but it happened.
He was just fucking with you. He's just butthurt that I haven't been around.
Yeah, and then you say you're coming, and he's like, "I'm not coming."
I understand. He says he's got more important things to do.
Yeah.
And I haven't been around for a long time. I mean, I've been crazy busy with life, like all of us.
Yeah, sure.
We have to make certain sacrifices.
Yeah.
I got married. Getting married is a big thing.
It's an important thing. Yeah.
Constantly. I've moved like 3 times in the past year. Sold my house. Just a lot of things going on, and I've been trying to keep it a little low key, but I'm finished.
Nobody else can hear that, just you. Don't worry.
Okay, I thought I was going crazy for a second.
No, you're good.
But yeah, no. Things have been good. How have things been going on with you there, Tim?
It's doing great, man. Same thing. Sold my house, moved out of the state. No longer in Florida, but I'm still here. He says your audio's low. Let me crank him up. I got you. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, it's because I'm sitting a little bit away from my mic. I'm sure it's a little bit better.
That's fine. Yeah, the cool thing too is we can have moments like this where we got to fix shit, and then when we do the final cut, nobody sees this shit. Live only commentary.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. But no, where'd you move out to, bub?
In Georgia. Yeah, live out in Georgia now. I'll be here for probably another 6 months max, I hope, and then I'll be out. I'll be out of town. I don't plan on staying here for very long. I moved for work.
Where are you going to after that?
Nobody knows. It's like the military, man. I go wherever they send me.
You still selling your tortillas?
No. I stopped driving tortillas around. I started now I tell other people where to go. It's great.
Yeah, man. That's
yeah. So
promotion.
That's right. Yeah. And so the next promotion will take me to some other faraway land. And no, I'm not fucking gay that way. You're fucking gay that way.
I mean, congratulations, man.
No, it's good. It's good. I'll be back in Florida at some point, I'm sure. Florida's like, Yeah, I've always heard people say you could take the Texas out of the girl, but you can't, or whatever, the girl out of Texas, not the Texas out of the girl. It's the same thing with Florida. The Florida man is here. I am the Florida man.
Heart.
That's right.
In the heart, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure like you sold that property of yours for probably double what you paid for it.
We don't talk about how much money is in the bank account, but it's good. It's good. No,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah. So hey, you're back on the show. The other guys, Mitch is on this CBD juice bullshit. Rob's like, I got to get healthy. What are you drinking? I know you got to be drinking something.
I usually go for the most interesting drink in the world, but I'm going with a little Modelo today.
There you
go. The wife picked it up for me the other night because she's wonderful. She's a wonderful woman. I happened to be on another show the other night, Sibling Revelry.
Oh, okay.
With Doug and Paul. They're all part of the Force Mommy universe. Chill dudes. First time actually talking to them. And we fucking went for 5 goddamn hours on Rumble.
What do y'all think? You're Joe Rogan? What the fuck?
I mean, it just kept going and going and going. It was just good conversation. They kept progressively getting drunker and higher.
Nice.
And I'm not smoking because I gotta find another job.
Yeah. You gotta pass a test.
I gotta pass some tests. And then no, it was good, man. It was a good time. Just
5 hours.
Around.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Dude, I know. It pushed up against it. I thought we were gonna do maybe 2 at the max, and then we were supposed to do like a 1 hour locals only show. And then it just kept going and going and going and just I guess it got
like the Energizer.
It got me with feeling the itch again, a little bit.
That's good.
And then you saw you guys were posting in the chat, and I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen these little faggots in a long time.
That's right.
So let's jump on and have a little fun. I do miss you, Tim.
Hey, always, dude. Always.
You're my first love on Discord in the LP.
Yeah.
The bromance was real, and just figured I'd come back.
It's like there's certain people that you just like immediately when you meet them, you're just like, oh yeah, we're gonna get along. This is gonna be great. Like you probably like met people in school or at work or something, and you're like you lock eyes with a chick and you're like, oh, we're gonna fuck. Like that's how it was when I met you. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna fuck.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's gonna get deep and dirty.
That's right.
It's a beautiful thing.
Well, I am drinking Wild Turkey American Honey. Fucking good. I love the Honey Jack, and then when I saw Wild Turkey had a honey version as well, I was like, ooh baby, let me try some of that, and it's been great. I'm running out. I got to get something else soon. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, is it not gonna? Oh, I pushed the wrong button. There it is. Yeah, gays and transies in the chat. There we go.
Fat gay trannies in the chat. Yeah,
that's
about what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But no.
Have you
the Wild Turkey honey was pretty decent. When I was overseas, it was either the Jack honey or the Wild Turkey honey, and we mixed it with Dr. Pepper, and that shit was dangerous. That shit was so good.
I'm just going with Coke. Nothing
the regular
too crazy.
ass Coke.
Yeah,
Coke is great.
Yeah.
But no, man, the Dr. Pepper put it on a whole nother level. It tastes like you're drinking a creamsicle.
I'm gonna have to try that next show. Next show, when I finish this bottle, I'm gonna be bringing the Dr. Pepper. We'll see how it goes. So, have you been keeping up with this Tiffany Dalton or Tiffany Henyard in Dalton County? Do you know what that is? Do you know the super mayor? You've never.
Oh, are you talking about like you're talking about the black chick?
Yeah, the black chick who's like stealing all the money and everything. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Yes.
So
I've heard of her. Yes.
Yeah. So we've been following her on the show. I've been making a point to follow her. Rob brought her up and then just completely ignored her after the fact. But dude, shit keeps going down over there. So I'll fill you in on some of the missing pieces if you don't know everything that's been going on. But
please.
Yeah, so the last time that we talked about her on the show, there were a bunch of subpoenas that were served to both. She's the mayor, but then she's also in charge of she's on the county board as well. So she's got 2 elected positions in political office. Okay. She had subpoenas served from the FBI to both buildings. One was just asking for records about what her top aide about his bankruptcy fraud. He was charged with bankruptcy fraud because he only claimed one income. The income was
I did see that.
Yeah, and then the second income he just completely ignored. It's only like $100,000. Who gives a shit, Doesn't claim that. Files bankruptcy. So they're coming after him. The theory is that they're pressuring him to try to get him to flip on her for all the money that she's stealing and all the corrupt things that she's doing. So that happened. The trip to Vegas, you probably saw that clip where they were asking if she went to Vegas, and she's like, next question. Like, she just didn't want to answer the question. She just kept saying, no.
Use taxpayer funds to go to Vegas and gamble? Next question.
Next question. That's a great question. Yeah. Her top aide, they interviewed him about it later, and he was asking, like, what happened to the money to charity? Tiffany got all this money for her charity. You're in charge of the charity. Whatever happened to all the money? He's like, that's a good question. You should. That's a good question. So he was taking notes from her. So we covered that on the show as well. Complete corruption, just fucking, it's been a hell of a show. She's had these public stunts where she's like, y'all are coming on after a black woman in power, and y'all are black. You ain't supposed to do me like this, was basically the attitude. And she went off for like 45 minutes. We talked about some of that too. So anyway, now that you're all caught up on the story of Tiffany Henyard.
Yeah.
So recently, over the past week or so, she's been making life difficult for everybody. The town is coming after her. FBI is coming after her. I don't know if you saw this. They sent Lori Lightfoot after her.
Jesus, no, I didn't.
Yeah. Okay, so Beetlejuice is
Beetlejuice after her.
Yeah. Yeah, Beetlejuice is the prosecutor that's supposed to investigate Tiffany Henyard for all of her corruption and stuff. So they sent, the corrupted investigating the corrupt, right? It's going to be great.
Well, it is Illinois, so.
Yeah, true.
We expect, right?
So all of this stuff has been going on. So over the past week, I went to go check up on her and see what's happening. And it just keeps getting worse the more the story goes on. So this first clip here, you heard his intro. This guy's a wild man. But the clips that he pulled are fucking good. So here we go. We're going to pull this first one out.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
First, I would like to invite everyone to Tea with.
Okay, the lady that's talking right now, she's you could probably see my cursor. She's somewhere over here. You can see her picture here. She's more to the right. But that's one of the trustees. So the way it works in Dalton is they got the mayor, and then they've got all these trustees that are like part of the board, let's say, like a good way to analogy. So she's the one that's speaking right now.
With the trustees, May 11th at 9:30 at the Lester Long Fieldhouse. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that's out there. I have a couple of comments because I'm sure they won't get answered. But our meeting stars at
what? You can't hear anyone in the crowd?
I can't hear the video at all.
Refresh. You'll refresh real quick while we do this. See, this is the great part of the edited version. They won't see it.
What do you need me to refresh?
Refresh the Watch Together stream where you're watching it.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Sometimes it'd be glitching out.
I was still on the other one. Okay, we're good. Here we go.
Rob's, what do you mean put respect on her name? What the fuck did I mess up? Her name is Tiffany Henyard. What are you talking about? Guy?
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Start that shit.
Here, do you hear it?
6:30.
You hear it that time?
Yeah.
And it's unfair that.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy.
Oh, you went too far back.
At it again with another episode. That's how we done. Team, Andrew Holmes has been very busy.
Okay, hang on.
Doing what?
Hold on, we are going to watch this because if you don't know who Andrew Holmes is, some of this won't make any sense. So actually, his fly ass intro is going to play. We're going to let it run.
Hey there, everybody. It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode. That's how we done. Team, Icon Music. Andrew Holmes has been very busy, doing a whole lot of things, taking pictures, trying to get in front of the cameras, and allegedly, who the clapper sounds? Stealing people's cheeks, unfortunately. But Andrew Holmes won't come to the board meetings anymore. He used to be at the city council meetings for the village of Dalton, and he gets paid $20,000 a year to do that as a job. But he's been missing in action. I wonder why. See, Andrew Holmes is fearful for his life. He probably feels that if he shows up to Dalton, something very bad is going to happen to him. And he may be right about that. You see, when you have the allegation that you do these kind of things to women, a lot of other men just don't really want you to be around. So he's staying away.
So, yeah.
Looks like a fucking rapist.
Dude, he fucking does, dude. Like, when we were first looking at the story, there was people that were saying that there was a sexual assault that happened in Vegas. That's what this is talking about. Is there's a case going on against him for some sexual assault that happened in Vegas, and since then he hasn't shown up at the city council. He used to be there all the time, right next to Tiffany. You know, being his community activist and all this kind of stuff. But yeah. So anyway, now you know who he is and the situation that's happening in Dalton. So this happened at a town meeting this week.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
First, I would like to invite everyone to Tea with the Trustees, May 11th at 9:30 at the Lester Long
I'm leaving
Fieldhouse.
the announcement in on purpose. We'll get
Happy
to it.
Mother's Day to all the mothers that's out there. I have a couple of comments because I'm sure they won't get answered, but our meeting starts at 6:30, and it's unfair that we have to wait till 7:10, 7:15 to start a regular scheduled meeting based on one person. If a quorum is here.
She's talking about Tiffany Henyard. The meetings have consistently started late because she's not there.
Because she can't show up on time. She's
Yep.
on
Imagine
CPT.
that. Imagine
She's on
that.
CPT.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Here, I believe that we should start the meeting, and it's not fair. I think it's being inconsiderate of people's time, and the fact that you always say, "Let's take care of the business. Let's take care of the business and go move forward." Secondly, I see that, and I'm going to say this because while the people standing outside were outside, there were some people that tried to come upstairs and have a seat, and now they're sitting behind where employees are. I think it's unfair that people that's not residents, whether whoever it may be, they should not be sitting anywhere where it is employee. And the reason, excuse me,
Okay, you out of
Excuse
order.
me.
Out of order.
and the reason I say this is because I came here, and I am an elected official of the Village of Dalton, and they wouldn't let me pass the door.
So Tiffany, for context, Tiffany has security standing outside of the building that are blocking people from coming inside. So there's a whole line of people that want to come in and talk shit to the mayor, and they're not letting them inside. And so the security has been given instructions not to let anyone in the building, including some of the trustees who are elected members of the council that are supposed to sit there. And so that's what she's complaining about right there. But it gets really good, especially with this guy. Andrew
Said that
Holmes.
they were given the instructions that we could not come in the building. So I don't have the nerve or anybody to be sitting as if they were an employee of the Village of Dalton when I'm an elected official, elected by the people, and can't come in the building. I'm offended. Now, let me get to the last thing.
Here we
Where
go.
you sit here and send out this Dalton Proud pamphlet, and we got it at the last meeting that came. This is nothing but an embarrassment.
Oh yeah,
It's
why
an
is that?
embarrassment. It's campaign material, and it's full of lies. And then all the time while this was going on, the slap in the face that you would sit there and say, Lifetime Achievement Award to Andrew Holmes, and you knew what happened.
Damn.
This is a slap in the face. So the next time whoever gives you the bright idea to put this stuff out, I hope it came out your personal campaign fund, because this is nothing but campaign material. And I'm sure because it got township stuff in it, the township credit card paid for it.
Let's see if he.
I'm done.
Yeah. So she has. So she has the nerve not only to keep using the public money to, put out propaganda and campaign material, put her face right on the front. You saw the magazine, her face was right on the fucking front. And then the guy that's accused of sexual assault in Vegas, Lifetime Achievement Award.
That's her boy.
That's her boy, man. She is not backing down. She just keeps going hog wild for this. So that happened. And then I told you that that Tiffany Henyard is being investigated by our good friend Lori Lightfoot, right? Beetlejuice is coming after her.
Yeah, Beetlejuice herself.
Well, there's a slight problem with that, you know. The House of Tiffany. That's right. All right, here we go. There's a slight problem with that, though. Here, let's check this out.
This all comes after the FBI served subpoenas at the village of Dalton and Thornton Township, where Henyard is also the supervisor. Those subpoenas named Tiffany Henyard, her top aide Keith Freeman, 2 of her allies on the village board, the deputy police chief, and a dozen others seeking expense and employment records. Critics accuse the mayor of using taxpayer dollars to bankroll trips to the tune of $102,000 in the past year. Her cancer charity also under scrutiny. The FBI also investigating claims that Henyard withheld construction permits and business licenses from her opponents.
You got somebody to answer to too, and that's the people of the village.
They're yelling at her, dude.
This administration is shameful. Y'all are a disgrace. If you won't step down,
We need to take our township back and put it in more capable hands.
That's why she don't want people in the building. Because when they are in the building, they fucking let her have it. Your ass.
They're going right after her.
Yeah. So here we go.
Sometimes this board sells you off of fake news, which is they come
It's all
out,
fake
they
news.
film things, and they put our community in a bad light.
Last month, the Board of Trustees voted to hire former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot as a special investigator into Mayor Henyard. Tonight, Henyard vetoed that appointment.
You know, it's veto power. So how dare you think you could come in someone's town and start working or doing something, even though we sent something stating it's illegal. We cited the code and everything in here, and she will not be paid for services.
So you got that? So they voted, they wanted to have this lady come in and investigate, Lori Lightfoot. Doesn't matter if it was her or anybody else. But Tiffany says, nah, veto. She can't come.
She's like, oh, she's coming in to investigate me? Nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
She ain't allowed to come in here.
Not in my town, bro. So
no, man. The brass one's on this chick, man.
Dude.
I mean, you got to hand it to her. No wonder Rob is in love with her.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't seem like
Yeah. Go ahead.
He doesn't seem like he would be her type. But I mean, he only goes for his stepsisters, you know.
That's right. Yeah.
No, yeah. But hey, a little chocolate love might do him a little bit good.
This is a good point. You know, Tiffany should have just said yes to Lori Lightfoot coming in and just paid her off. Just give her a little slice of the pie. She would have found her not guilty.
Been pretty easy.
Yeah, would have found her not guilty. Everything would have been fine, but she decided not to do that. And so the latest update happened today. And so
wait, there's more.
There's more. So after she locked people out of the building, she's showing up late to meetings. All this kind of stuff happened. They got the investigation going. She vetoes that. They decided to have another meeting, a special meeting, I believe, and there was a decision made during this meeting. And this is what happened there. This broke, I think it said 15 hours ago, so maybe yesterday.
New tonight, a vote puts a new plan in place in Dalton.
Trustees have chosen someone to replace the mayor if she's not there. WGN's Jenna Barnes is joining us live from tonight's meeting with more. Jenna?
Yeah, Ray and Micah, Mayor Tiffany Henyard did not attend tonight's meeting, which is no surprise, but these trustees say it is a big part of the problem. That's why they appointed a mayor pro tem tonight.
We have many cases where village business cannot go forward.
The Dalton trustees opposed to Mayor Tiffany Henyard say she's missed 25 of these special meetings and counting, and she refuses to allow some village business to be put on the agenda for the village's regular meetings. That's why 3 of them voted to appoint Jason House as mayor pro tem.
We're just really trying to make sure that if something critical comes up, that there's a signature on deck that can move it forward.
House won't replace the mayor, but he would step in her absence, which these trustees say is happening far too often.
This is just in case, but we need just in case at this moment. We have meetings where we're all waiting 45 minutes just to get started, where we have an entire quorum here and we're waiting while the administration adds makeup and gets dressed, and it's just not fair.
Their move comes amid mounting scrutiny of how
Called
the
her
mayor
out,
runs
dude.
the village and Thornton
She's
Township.
just there getting
The
her hair
FBI
did.
serving
She's out there
subpoenas
getting
in
her
both
fucking nails
places.
done.
Henyard's top
Yep.
aide, Keith Freeman, charged with bankruptcy fraud, and her ally on the board of trustees and activist Andrew Holmes, accused of sexual assault on a taxpayer-funded trip to Las Vegas.
We're paying these people, and it's like we're paying for them to abuse us.
We know what
Yeah,
she is
sounds
doing,
like politics.
and it will be stopped.
That bitch looks serious.
That lady looks like she's gonna fucking glass someone, man. She's gonna go she's gonna break a bottle and she's gonna fucking glass someone.
Yeah, man. So definitely more to come on this story here. It is definitely developing into something. There's gonna be an explosion, dude. 25 meetings in a row, that like these special meetings that she has not shown up to. So I guess what happens is they have their regular meeting, and then there's a bunch of stuff that doesn't get handled and doesn't get brought up. And then they have these special meetings, and then Tiffany doesn't even show up, so they can't do business. So they're like,
They don't have the quorum, they don't have the person in charge, right?
right. Well, yeah, that's what they say in the clip. Is they say we've got quorum, we just don't have Tiffany to run the meeting, and so we're not allowed to do anything. So we're gonna have this other guy do it. Fuck you. And so they're supposed to override her veto later this month. And they're also
investigator.
Yeah, and they also pay. I think they're going to keep Lori Lightfoot, which isn't promising for justice. But they're going to get
probably just doing it so that they get the most publicity. It's like not like they don't have enough publicity as it is already.
Right.
And they're like, oh well, we get Lori Lightfoot, then yeah, everyone's going to pay attention.
You know what? I will pay attention. Like I was going to pay attention regardless, but I'm going to pay attention a little bit more.
Now that Beetlejuice is gonna be there.
Yeah, I want to see
They're
what
gonna
happens.
Turn out, what's going to end up happening is they're going to have Beetlejuice come in, and she's going to investigate it, and then it's going to turn out in like 6 months that they've turned into lesbian lovers.
Yeah, true.
And
True.
And they're going to have to investigate Lori Lightfoot for stealing their money and corruption charges as well.
She's going to walk in their office and be like, "Hey, you want me to get you off on these charges? You got to get me off." Exactly.
Oldest trick in the book.
Not new guy gonna get got in a drive-by. Oh yeah, you know what? That's true. That could actually happen. The new guy could get got in a drive-by. She shut down businesses that did not donate to her campaign. That's another accusation that's been made. She shut down businesses for not having permits. She's refused new businesses opening because they were friends with people that are not that they're not supportive of her.
They wouldn't pay their fealty
fees
to her.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it goes deep, man. There's a couple of documentaries online about her you could watch.
Already?
Oh yeah. Because they've been following this for a while.
Been around for a while.
Yeah, it's one of those things like the internet found out about her, and then people started looking into her, and they put together all these, all the stories about her, and now it's just now finally making its way to.
It's becoming like national news.
Yeah, somebody that can actually do something about it. So. So yeah, crazy stuff there. More to come. We'll see what happens to Tiffany. We'll keep watching out for Rob's girlfriend. He'll probably bail her out. He said he'd represent her, so why not? Let's see here.
Rob is quite corrupt, but that's good. That's why we need him. But I don't pay attention to much LP stuff.
Sure.
Anymore, not like the intricacies like we used to.
Right.
But then I saw the MC's endorsement list. I didn't know that Rob was running for at large.
Yeah, Rob's running. Josh is running for VC, so we've got 2 Swamp members. I got 2 Swamp guys running for stuff. Yeah, he's running. We'll see what happens.
We'll see how it goes. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I know that Rob wants to do it, and I know he's gonna try to do a good job, he says. But I don't know that. I don't know. I feel like this is something, I don't know if we'll put it in the show or not, but we're live and I'll say it anyway because we're here. But I don't know if it's a situation where they don't have anybody else to run, and so Rob's doing it, or if Rob really wants to do it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. That's a conversation we'll have to have. I'm interested. You and I are not going to DC, but I know Mitch and Rob and Josh and all them are. So we're definitely going to do a recap show after they get back. So that'll be good. And I think that one is scheduled to be a Josh show. So we'll let him run the show and take us through the days and what happened and get all the highlights. And I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I mean, DC is certainly turning into a very interesting event, to say the least. You know?
Oh yeah,
went from being just like, oh, it's just going to be another LP convention, huzzah, and now it's going to be like, oh shit.
Yep, Pat will be there too.
A lot of fucking shit is going to be going down. At this thing, it's going to be interesting.
It's kind of annoying, isn't it? Because it's like, if you would have heard this 6 months ago that Trump, Vivek, and RFK were all going to be there, you might have been more inclined to go. And now it's 2 weeks out and we find out.
Yeah, no, I probably was never going to go because it's in fucking DC.
Right. Super expensive.
But then again, I have friends that live in Alexandria, so I probably could have stayed with them instead of having to spend all that money on the hotel. But even still, it's like,
I feel like if they would have announced it sooner, people would have made other arrangements. Because there was a point in time where we were looking at the possibility of renting out like a mini mansion or whatever. And it wasn't like super unaffordable, but you needed like 20, 30 people to make it happen. And so it was like,
you needed fucking 30 people living in a mansion right outside of fucking DC to make it work and make it feasible.
But that's the thing, right? Is like we could have done that if there was a reason to go, and that reason.
Get a place like I did at the Florida Freedom Fest.
Yeah, do something like that. Like just go get an Airbnb or whatever. I don't know. There were options. We looked at getting a bus and doing all this kind of stuff, but there was nothing exciting that was going on after Dave dropped out. There was nothing exciting. And now all the excitement comes 2 weeks before, and now you can't fucking plan anything. So, it happens.
It is what it is. But it'll be fun. And hope they have fun. Hope everything works out for them.
Yeah, I'll be watching. I won't be attending, but I'll be watching. Could have had an LPF house. Yeah, I would like to have a house with about half of those people. the other half, not so much. Oh, look, there's an emergency. There's a 12-year-old white female, date of birth, last seen wearing bright yellow. Okay, she's in trouble.
Yeah, no, it's starting to storm over here.
Oh, yeah, so you're going to get those alerts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
All right, so did you catch Biden's interview on CNN with Aaron Burnett? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I saw a few things from it. I didn't watch the whole thing. But I definitely saw him talking about like
the
Israel
economy. Oh, and
shit like that. I didn't see him talk about the economy.
Oh no. Okay. Well, yeah. So this is I'm surprised. This is the highlight that everyone was passing around. These are the comments that he apparently went viral for. Everything goes viral now. I don't know what that even means anymore. But here is this. We're not going to watch the whole interview because the whole thing's like 20 minutes long. We'll find out if here. We'll do it right now. Joey wants to know if you're all in for Lars.
No.
No? Come on, you're not all in for Lars?
No.
Yeah.
I don't care about how many fisting jokes we're going to make and how he bends over Larry Sharp. I can no, not in good conscience at all. Support that joke of a fucking person known as Lars Mapstead or however you fucking pronounce his name. I mean, before we get into this Biden thing,
sure, yeah.
I said it in the chat. I think he is the model or the epitome of everything that's wrong with the LP.
Lars Mapstead?
Everything.
You think he's worse than Chase Oliver?
Yes.
Okay.
He's worse than Chase Oliver.
Make your case. Yeah.
He has, it's kind of a dick thing. I mean, it's
kind of a dick thing.
Spend their money. Kind of a dick thing. Trying to tell people how to spend their money. But it just shows that you have people in the LP and people who are libertarians that have fuck tons of money.
Right.
That they're willing to spend on campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
But only on campaigns that are vanity projects that are meant to put them in a position of prevalence in the party. How much more could this fucker do if he were donating this money to the party itself?
Sure.
Or just local candidates? Because we see with Soros and all these other people the power of money in local politics. And he could be dumping hundreds of thousands of dollars, which is nothing to him, into local candidates to get libertarians actually elected to local positions where they could actually make changes. But no, he's going to run a fucking vanity campaign to become president, the presidential candidate,
right,
for the LP. And if he were to become that, he'll get like a 0.5% vote in the fucking nation.
No, he says he's going to get 5%. He's going to flip states and all kinds of shit.
Like I said, he is everything that is wrong with the LP. Either he really believes that and he's retarded, or he's just a fucking snake oil salesman. Well, and he probably is a little bit of both.
I will say that Rob and Mitch have both been talking to somebody in his campaign. I don't know who the fuck it is. Been talking to somebody about getting him to come on to the swamp. So if he comes here, you want to talk to him?
I'll tell him to his fucking face that he's a snake oil salesman.
Yeah, I think his strategy's bullshit. I mean, I haven't
seen a single strategy. What strategy?
His strategy is
made adult friend finder, and that that everyone jerks off to your material, and that's why they should vote for you.
No, it's something like he wants to dump all of his money into a state that he thinks he can flip. I can't remember if it was Michigan or Maine or some bullshit, but he wants to flip a state, and the idea is that if you flip this one state yellow on the map, they're going to be talking about the Electoral College and how everything went. But what's that yellow dot up there? What's that? Oh, that's libertarianism. And now everybody's mind is open to what libertarianism is. That I've just like summarized it and making fun of it a little bit, but that's basically the strategy.
Maybe if Dave Smith was running.
Mm-hmm. So you think his strategy is sound? It's just the wrong spokesperson?
I mean, there could be some validity to his strategy, but yes, the messenger is completely off. No one knows who the fuck he is, and no one's going to vote for this dweeby guy in his fucking ponytail.
Yeah.
No one's going to vote for him, no matter how much fucking money he dumps into his campaign. Now, if someone like, let's just say for argument's sake, and I saw that there was a letter released by a lot of people, like state chairman and everything, including Josh, that wanted RFK to secure the LP nomination.
I saw that, yeah.
And to seek the LP nomination. So say if and I agree, he's not a fucking libertarian.
Right.
And he's like the furthest thing from, but say if you got RFK Jr. or you had Dave or something, and you dumped tens of millions of dollars into, like, say, New Hampshire to try and flip New Hampshire gold, it's not the worst strategy in the world, but there's still no chance it's going to fucking happen. They could spend $100 million trying to flip a state, and it's not going to flip gold.
Right.
It's not going to happen, especially not this year.
Well,
the two people that are running are going to suck every bit of energy and every bit of fucking votes out of this campaign. This is possibly the worst year for an LP candidate to try and do something like that, because no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, it's so polarized. Yeah.
It is. It's so polarized. 2016 may have been the time to do that. And maybe a few years down the road, there might be time to. But this year, no. There's no chance that he's going to flip a state.
Yeah.
He might be able to. I mean, maybe by some chance, he could maybe flip one, like, Maine and Nebraska to have, like, the one little congressional district.
Right.
Maybe you can flip a congressional district.
But not a state.
In Maine, in that kind of state. But even still, those are the blue states. Those are blue parts of red states that they're going to try and flip. So, no, it's
people that basically don't have a chance at winning. They just want a protest vote, and so they're going to pick, some other oddball candidate. Yeah, I think you got some validity there. I don't know. I don't think the strategy is sound at all. I don't care who's doing it, because if you look at like Bloomberg's campaign from 2020, right? Yeah. Bloomberg's campaign, he dumped millions of dollars in,
like $300 million into his campaign.
And he wasn't even trying to be the president. He was trying to get the nomination for the Democratic Party. And he still couldn't do it. He still could. No. He wasn't even a blip on the radar. So to try to go against the big two, trying to do something like that, like I think you hit it on the nail on the head, especially Kelly's comment here, local, like that's where he should be putting his money. And like you said too, I kind of wish he was a better spokesperson, a better representation of the ideals. But what are you gonna do?
And no, of course, but it's like, yes, local is the way, and that's where money can make a difference.
Right.
That's like my argument against Mike Tremont. Mike Tremont's another one.
Mm-hmm.
I've met Mike many times. I've had good conversations with Mike, but he is another person who is just delusional. He's a delusional man. So he would have been a great person to run for sheriff in like Broward County or some other county here in Florida or wherever the fuck he moved to. Like that would have been a really good thing for him to do, and for people to dump money in there to try and elect him as sheriff. But no, he wants to run for fucking president.
Right.
I mean, if he wants to actually run for like a bigger thing, he should run as a Republican in one of these states for Congress or something like that.
Well, he did run. He did run as a libertarian in Broward County, and
as for Congress,
and got his ass handed to him. Is what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's what I said. Because people, I mean, you're not going to get people to vote for libertarians on the statewide or nationwide, like in those contests, unless they see them in the local sphere making a difference. So, like, you can get a mayor, you can get a city manager, you can get a sheriff or something like that. And then when people see how that works out, then maybe you can start moving up and trying to do state representatives, state senators. And then when those are successful, you move your way up. But to try and like, oh, well, I'm going to go gung-ho and I'm going to run for president. I'm going to try and flip a state. Are you fucking high?
I don't know that
you are high. It's not going to happen.
I think it's a bigger problem. I don't even know that any amount of money can. How much money do you need to turn 395 votes into 45,000 to win this election? Like, I don't know. I don't know that any amount of money can do that. If I'm being honest.
and that's the thing, man, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like this was always a problem. Like when the whole like MC takeover thing kind of like started, was that like all these fucking people are delusional.
Mm-hmm.
The strategies should be local, and you have a good figurehead to run for president that can actually maybe, articulate the message and articulate the vision.
Right.
But we don't have that. We don't have someone that can articulate the vision, and the person that doesn't. That's why I take fucking Josh and Toad more seriously than these other fucking people. I mean, I love Josh,
right,
and I love Toad, who is also named Josh. But Toad knows what he's fucking doing. He knows it's a joke.
Yep.
These other people don't know they were a joke. That's why, like, I was joking around saying I was going to run for fucking president.
I remember seeing
the
that.
LP.
Yeah.
You remember me saying that? And that's when, like, I was going to get on the fucking Josie's
redhead
shit with Toad and all these other people and do a debate, and then Chase, Lars, and all these other people backed out because they said we were jokes and they wouldn't share a fucking stage with us because we're jokes. This is what Josie told me in like personal conversation.
But you were going to call them jokes. That was the whole point.
I was going to call them a fucking joke.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, you're a fucking joke, and I'm going to show you how much of a joke you are, because me running as a joke is going to do better than you, who thinks you're going to do seriously. And that was like the whole thing behind that. And then when Toad actually filed, and then when Josh filed, I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deal with this. Josh, you go with God and do your thing, man.
Yeah.
Because I support him. That if I was voting for a LP candidate right now, it would be Josh Smith.
Okay.
Mostly because
we're gonna talk about that later on, because I have.
Sorry if I hijacked the show.
No, you're good, man. No, it's good to talk about it with people, because I definitely wanted to talk about it. And I got more to say on it too, but I want to save it for later, because there's a round robin that's going around on Twitter, and it ends in about 12 hours, so we can get our votes in for the swamp and see how everyone.
For the poll.
The round robin where 1v1.
I voted there already.
All right, we'll go through it together, and we'll see who's got what advantages. But no, it's good stuff, man. I definitely want to talk some more about it. So here we go. Quick question before we get into the Biden stuff.
Yes.
What would you be willing to do to make a deal where Lars 100% funds the Free State of Florida project? Just the tip?
Maybe give him your wife, Joey.
Oh, no. Kelly's in the chat. What does she want? What do you think, Kelly? Kelly, gonna take one for the team? Is that where we're at?
I mean, Lars looks like the kind of person who has to pay for it. So,
hey, that's how he made his money. Don't knock the guy. All right, let's see. All right. So anyway, the Joe Biden interview. Let's try to get back on track. The Joe Biden interview. So he did an interview with Erin Burnett on CNN. You would expect it to be a very like one-sided conversation, like very fluff and all this kind of stuff. But she actually smacked him with the reality of the economy. And just to watch Joe Biden, if you watch, there's a couple moments in here where he like glitches out. Like,
Not surprising.
yeah, the Matrix falls apart on him. So yeah, there's a couple of parts, a couple of points I want to make throughout it. But here we go. Let's pull this up here. And push to play.
So when you talk about the economy, of course, it is by far the most important issue for voters. It's also true right now, Mr. President, that voters by a wide margin trust Trump more on the economy. They say that in polls. And part of the reason for that may be the numbers. And you're aware of many of these, of course. The cost of buying a home in the United States is double what it was when you look at your monthly costs from before the pandemic. Real income, when you account for inflation, is actually down since you took office. Economic growth last week, far short of expectations. Consumer confidence, maybe no surprise, is near a 2-year low. With less than 6 months to go to election,
Sitting there with that Tucker Carlson face
are you
on.
worried that you're running out of time to turn that around?
We've already turned it around. Look at the
Bitch.
Michigan survey. For 65%,
I'm so
of people
tired,
think they're
man.
in good shape
Yeah.
economically. They think the nation's not in good shape.
He didn't take his
but
nap.
They're personally in good shape. The polling data has been wrong all along. How many, you guys do a poll with CNN, how many folks you have to call to get one response? The idea that we're in a situation where things are so bad, the folks that, we've created more jobs. We're in a situation where people have access to good paying jobs. And the last I saw, the combination of the inflation, the cost of inflation, all those things, that's really worrisome to people with good reason. That's why I'm working very hard to bring the cost of rentals down, to increase the number of homes that are available.
This guy is a fucking moron. And Joey, the audio is not low. It's just Joe. That's just how he talks.
Yeah, that's just Joe.
I've got everything
He's like
cranked up.
whispering
Yeah.
to Aaron. He wants to sniff her or something.
Yeah. No, he talks about a bunch of these numbers that came out. He's blaming the polls and he points to the Michigan survey. And he's like, oh, look at the Michigan survey. Voter sentiment is higher than it's ever been. People think they're doing really well and all this stuff. So me being the autistic person that I can be sometimes, I found the Michigan poll and I found all the shit that's in it. And there's some interesting stuff in here. So he says that 61% of people, think that he said 65, the real number is 61, 60.9. He says, 61% of people are doing feel like they're doing better than they ever have been. No. 93% of Democrats say they're doing better than ever. 53 say no. So you see where their partisanship is. But 61 is where he's pulling the number from. Those are the independents. So that's kind of the current economic conditions, what they think. What's interesting is if you read, if you go to the website where this comes from, and they talk about how these numbers come about, and a lot of it is that it's a prediction of the future, right? And so do these independents think that, things are going to get better with a new president? Do they think that they're going to get better with an old president? Like whatever. So the number's not really real. They're just talking about those things. But then there's more data in the Michigan numbers. So 61 of independents, that's the actual number that he was referencing there, think that things are going to be better. 59% of people, this is what this chart shows here. This is the current financial situation compared to a year ago. Is what this looks at. And so it tracks every month all the way up to a year ago. And so each year they're asked the same question. Do you feel you're in a better place than you were a year ago? Yes or no, or whatever. So 40% of people say they're better off. 40. The other 59% say they're worse off. And this is not like separating by Democrats, Republicans, Independents, whatever. Just everybody. 60% of people say they're worse off. So he's actually got the number he's got it backwards. 60% of people aren't saying that they're doing better. In fact, they're saying they're either the same or they're worse off than they were a year ago. Then it goes even further than that. If you follow this chart here that goes into the methodology and you look at those 60% of people who said that they were worse off now than they were a year ago, what reasons do they give for why they're worse off than they were a year ago? The top two scoring contributors are lower income and higher prices. So inflation is the problem, and they're not making enough money.
It's stagflation.
Yeah, and
That's
then
what it is. It's stagflation.
and I didn't have enough time today, and thank God for you, because this thing is like fucking 40 fucking pages long. But I printed this out, and my plan was to go through this. This is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, their report that they put out every month that breaks it down. And just a quick, like, TLDR of just fucking thing is basically the jobs that are being created are part-time jobs. Most of the jobs that people have, not most, I want to say about 10 million jobs. There's 60 million or so people that are working right now. There's a bunch of people that want to be working that can't find jobs. And so of the 60 million, 10 million people say that the job that they're working at is not a quality job. It's not a job that they want more money. Obviously everybody wants more money, but they're saying the job that they have is below their qualifications. And then there's another section of them that are working part-time jobs. So they're underemployed. It's unemployed and underemployed is 10 million. Out of the 60 million workforce, 10 million are underemployed or unemployed. And so, he's saying he's created more jobs than ever. We went through this on one of the previous shows where they were talking about, I don't know if you saw the clip with Nancy Pelosi where they were talking about, Joe Biden's the biggest job creator ever. And the person on the other side of the desk is like, no, that's just because of the pandemic. The pandemic shut down and all these jobs went away and they're all coming back. So you're claiming all these jobs that came back. You're not the biggest jobs creator. It's just the economy reopened. And that's how you're getting all these numbers. And Pelosi snaps back and is like, well, if you want to be a propagandist for Donald Trump, you go right ahead. But Joe Biden is the biggest job creator ever.
Yeah, no, that was something. No, I saw that. That was on MSNBC or something. Wasn't
Right,
it?
right. Yeah. She accused an MSNBC host of being a propagandist for Donald Trump. So fucking stupid.
The other clip that I saw from the Aaron Burdett thing was when he tried to claim that when he entered office, inflation was at 9%.
Yeah, that was
actually at 1.2%.
Yeah, that wasn't one of the ones that's going around. I don't have that one here, but yeah, that was one of the ones. He said like so much stupid shit, and I just thought it was funny because autism, right? I saw he said Michigan, I was like, all right, cool. Let me go find this. Oh, everything you said is fucking wrong, and even your own Bureau of Labor Statistics says you're fucking wrong. But Joe Biden doesn't know any better. We're picking on an old man.
And I was saying that a lot of those. I saw some report where saying that a lot of the jobs are by migrants.
Yeah.
And they are government jobs that are being created. They're not public sector jobs. I mean, private sector jobs. So even still, but yeah, like I go online looking for another job and everything like that. And there's so many government jobs, but government jobs are hard to get.
Yeah.
And then you look at other things and it's like sales jobs. Those are like the only things that are available in most sales jobs are no base pay, all commission based, and most of them are part-time.
Yeah.
It's like, or you're going to have to work like service industry or some shit like that. That's all that's out there. It's ridiculous.
Joey says, I don't know why Biden wouldn't be hitting on all the money that Trump printed, because Biden wants to print more money.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of this inflation is obviously from Trump and all them printing all that fucking money during COVID.
True.
I mean, he spent more than Obama.
All right.
And no one can argue that at all. But yeah, Biden just continued to fucking print. So yeah, we're feeling all the inflation from Trump, and now we're just starting also to feel the inflation from everything that Biden's been doing. So it's just taking one more bite out of a shit sandwich every single fucking year that goes by.
I just love the. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I just looked at this one graph and it showed the changes in McDonald's pricing over the past like 10 years.
Yeah.
And like everything is up over like 180% increase.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, that's just 10 fucking years. It's gonna get so bad in the next 10 years. It's not even gonna be funny. And I, put my conspiracy theory hat on is like they're intentionally killing the dollar so that they can come running to us with the central bank digital currency and be like, this is gonna fix everyone's problem.
Yeah.
Because the dollar is dead.
Yeah, I'm worried. I didn't watch it, but did you see the MMT documentary? Did you see that going around? Bob Murphy did a takedown of it, but I think that's where the thing is going. I think people are gonna start pushing MMT more. And
we're already in MMT. We're already doing monetary.
And that's what they're gonna say is we're already doing MMT. Let's just do it harder. Like why? Like they're asking the right question. Why are we paying taxes? But their answer is we don't need to. We don't need to pay for anything. We could just print all this money and pay for it that way.
Well, you see what's happening in Japan. Japan almost just went completely freaking upside down, and we bailed them out.
Right.
Like that's not something that people are talking. We just bailed out Japan.
Right. Yeah.
Why are we bailing out Japan? To keep their fucking yen or whatever from going up under.
To keep them under our thumb. We'll fucking nuke you again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fully in favor of rearming Japan and bringing back the imperial Japan that we did in the first place. I think that's the best way to keep China in check, but that's neither here nor there.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, it's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
You rearm their mortal enemy, and they ain't gonna worry about us anymore.
Right. Yeah. Hey, enemy of my enemy is my friend, right?
Yeah, if we're gonna be playing this game and we're gonna be sending billions of dollars to like Israel and to Ukraine and all this shit, it's like fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't want to send it to Taiwan. Send it to Japan.
Send it to somewhere useful.
Yeah, send it to somewhere useful. If we're gonna do it regardless,
Yeah.
let's send it or if we're gonna invade somewhere, let's invade Canada and let's invade Mexico.
Yeah, take the continent back.
Yeah, manifest destiny, man.
Yeah, it would make more sense. But whatever. They're just gonna do what they're gonna do.
Exactly.
But don't as bad as it is out there. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, okay? Biden says polls are bullshit. He says you don't know how good you got it, and he's got the solution, dude. He's got the plans. Here we go. Let's listen to some of Biden's plans.
Let me say it this way.
Exactly.
When I started
Yeah.
this administration, people were saying there's going to be a collapse in the economy. We
And
have
there
the
will.
strongest economy in the world. Let me say it again, in the world.
Although GDP last week was far
thinks
short
he's-
of expectations.
Oh, it wasn't. Look, GDP is still growing. Look at the response of the markets. Overwhelmingly positive. Overwhelmingly positive. And
So he says it twice, thinking he's trying to make some fucking strong ass point.
Yeah, he's making like a point.
Yeah.
Putting into you. It's like, no, we're the strongest in the world.
In the world, duh. But no, and then he points to the stock market and says, like, well, look how good the stock market's going. When you print a bunch of fucking money and prices go up everywhere, of course the stock's going to go up because that's a representation of all the prices. Those are all the companies.
And they're all anticipating a rate cut that's not going to come.
Right. Yeah. No.
The Fed is not going to cut a rate this year.
No.
They've basically just come out and said that the rates are going to stay where they are, which we know that they need to raise the rates even further.
Right.
Because if the Fed wasn't around, the fucking interest rates on all this money would probably be like 17% or some shit like that.
Right.
If everything was real, but it's not real. It's all fake.
Right.
It's all make believe. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to combat the inflation. So the rate should be higher than inflation to push it down. Like that's how it's supposed to work. And instead we do zero or whatever. And whatever.
one of the reasons why people feel good about it, not
Got
being
pop
as
the
strong
bubble
as it was
somehow, man.
before,
Yeah.
Because it's
is
not
they
going to pop
believe that
itself.
The Fed's going
Right.
to respond.
They hope they're going to get a rate cut.
Yeah. Well, but
Yep.
I mean,
There we go, Aaron.
no president's had the run we've had in terms of creating jobs and bringing down inflation. It was 9% when I came to office. 9%.
Yep.
But look, people have a right to be concerned. Ordinary people. The idea that you bounce a check and you get a $30 fee for bouncing the check might change that. You can't charge more than $8 for that. Or your credit card, your late payment, $35. I mean, there's corporate greed going on out there, and it's got to be dealt with.
What about, but there's real pain.
So his solution is that we're going to put price controls. His
Yes,
solution.
and price controls always work
Yeah.
the way they're intended.
Of course, dude. Of course. His plan is we're going to put price controls. Oh, you got a $30 bank fee? Here's $20, kid. Go solve your fucking grocery bill. Like, it doesn't work like that, asshole.
Like we're just talking about the other day,
Mm-hmm.
we can't go to the fucking grocery store without spending $250.
Oh, yeah.
At the least.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just two of us.
Yeah.
And that's every fucking week. That's insane.
Yeah.
I can only imagine having a family like you.
Yeah.
How much it costs for you, man, every fucking week with two kids running around.
I refuse to go to the store. An investment in the wife is the best investment ever made. I never have to go to the store ever again.
You just hand her the card and be like, "Hey, babe, just get what you need to get."
Listen, I have a level where I want the bank account to be, and it just stays there. Okay, you can spend anything else you want that goes over that number. Everything else just stays.
So let's leave the floor there. So we
Yep.
have rainy day.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's ridiculous. He goes on a little bit more, but I got another one.
More than 30%.
She's talking about groceries.
More than 30%.
Let me pull back.
There's corporate greed going on out there.
All right, he blames greed.
It's got to be
Yep.
dealt with.
What about, but there's real pain. Grocery prices are up 30%, more than 30%, since the beginning of the pandemic.
What do you say to that,
People
old
spend
man?
More in food and groceries than they have at any time, really, in the past 30 years. That's a real day-to-day pain that people
No,
feel.
it really
Huh?
is. And it's real. But the
Uh-huh.
fact is that
It's your fault.
take a look at what the people have. They have the money to spend. It
No, we
angers
don't.
them and angers me that you have to spend more. For example, the whole idea of
Can't
this
believe he said that
notion
shit.
that Senator Casey talked about, shrinkflation. I think it's on your
Same
program.
price for a smaller bottle of
Yeah.
juice
Well,
or
for
something.
example, Snickers bar, they did a thing, and it's like 20% less for the same price.
Oh yeah, they got
That's
more air in the bags of
greed.
chips, dude. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
He says that
It's greed.
that's all corporate greed, dude. That's all corporate greed. That's not his fault. It's not the government's fault. It's you have money. Did you know that you have money? But you have to spend more of it.
Yeah, I have money, and then it gets to the point
Yeah.
at the end of every single month. It's not exactly where I want my bank account to be every single month. It's just surprising how that works out, right? And maybe you spend a little bit more than you need to every single month.
It just shows you like things really are not, economically speaking, things are just not going to get any better anytime soon. And like this was another example of it. I heard him talking about price controls and all the kind of, and this fucking bank credit bullshit that, if you overcharge your bank account, they're not going to charge you $30. They're going to charge you $8. These little things on the margin. And then I saw this. So this was a post by Joe Biden. What was this? 4 days ago. And it says, my dad used to say that the way you build wealth is by putting equity in your home. Okay, first of all, that's not how you build wealth, okay? Like that, if you know anything about wealth building, your home is a liability. It isn't an asset. People, you talk shit as much about Robert Kiyosaki as you want and his background and all this bullshit, but he's right about that. Your house is not an asset that you make money on. It's something you dump money into. Unless it's a rental property that's generating income and putting money in your bank account, your home is a liability, not an asset, first of all. So this first comment here, my dad used to say the way you build wealth is by putting equity in your home. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, if you own your fucking home,
right,
flat out, and you don't have a note on it, maybe. But no,
yeah.
not if you're paying the fucking bank every goddamn month.
Right. And so
At interest.
So Joe Biden's got a solution. He wants to help people build equity. So my housing plan would help Americans achieve home ownership by giving households $400 a month for 2 years when they buy their first home. So it might sound good, right? If you're trying to buy a home, you're like, oh, well, the government's going to give me $400 a month to pay for my mortgage. A mortgage is 30 fucking years. I don't know if you know this. A mortgage is 30 fucking years. So for 2 years, Biden's going to give you an extra $400. And I guess if you want to steel man the argument, right, you could say, Biden's just, he's giving you a break for the first 2 years or whatever. And it's making it easier to get into a home. But that's not how it's going to work. That's not how reality works.
No.
The way it's going to work is people are going to look at buying a house right now and they're going to say, I can afford $1,500 a month. That's my budget. Oh shit, Joe Biden's going to give me an extra $400. My budget just went up to $1,900. They're going to ignore the 2 year part and they're going to sign the mortgage. And then, how convenient is this? This new plan or whatever, it's 2 years. So you get into a house, 2 years go by. And what do you think's going to happen? There's going to be another fight on the floor, and they're going to say, "Hey, isn't it convenient that a 2 year is the same election cycle for Congress, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So, give me the Congress that I want, and we can renew this bill for you, and we can give you another 2 years of $400 so that you can afford your mortgage. Don't vote for the Republicans. Don't vote for the other party because they're just going to kick you out. And you're going to lose your home because they won't renew this thing. It's your right to own a home. It's so fucking stupid. Every part of this tweet is just awful because
not only that, $400 a month ain't gonna do shit.
No.
Mortgages are the highest they've ever fucking been.
That's the other part too.
The median.
Yeah.
Average. The fucking median.
Right.
Is highest that it's ever been.
Yeah.
Like their houses around here going for $480,000. That should be $200.
Yeah.
It's asinine. You know, the shit should be the housing market. That's another thing. It's like we're looking at houses over here. I'm like, we gotta stay in our rental for at least another fucking year until the housing market totally takes a shit. And it's like, yeah, that's the terrible thing. It's like if you're in a certain situation, you're hoping for pain.
So
you're hoping for pain for other people in the country so that you can benefit off of that. And I don't like feeling that way, but it's how it is. I want people to have foreclosures so that I can go and buy a house.
No, you're not wrong.
Might be at it might be an 8% interest rate, but guess what? I know.
Yeah.
And you know that the Fed's not going to leave it at that forever.
Right.
Because once there is a big hard recession, they're going to drop that back down to 2% or 1% or maybe even 0%.
You got to have the correction
and then
eventually.
I can refinance that shit. Then I can refinance that shit. And that's another thing. Even Janet Yellen came out and said that. And like, the reason why people are having such a hard time buying houses and why housing is so expensive is because no one wants to fucking sell because they don't want to lose their rate. They had that 0% interest rate that they got when fucking COVID was going on, and they had all that free money and drove the market up through the roof. Who's going to refinance now, or who's going to go try and buy another house when it's goddamn 7-8% interest?
Right. Yeah. Now, and that was like that was a huge part. You know, we were talking earlier about like I sold my house and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. We got a really good rate because we got it. A good rate by comparison today, at least. We bought our house in the middle of COVID. Like while all that was going on.
I remember you getting that property.
Yeah. So when we bought it, the rate, I think at the time, I think it was like 3.4, something like that. So
that's awesome.
At the time I was like, I'm paying a high rate. Like it kind of fucking sucks. 2 years later, I was like, oh, this is a great rate. I don't fucking sell this.
Best rate I've ever had.
Yeah. Way better. The thing I had pulled up a moment ago said like the average interest rate right now across the country is about 7%. So double what I was fucking paying just in interest. And it's crazy too. Like my mortgage was about $1,500. Which is why I said that number earlier. It was about $1,500. And then with the new interest, I looked at the people who bought my house and what their interest rate was and what their mortgage payment was going to be. $2,500. Once they tacked on all the extra interest and all the bullshit, it was going to be $2,500 a month. And what really sucks for them is property taxes are going to hit too. Because that was the other part. Like when we bought our place, it was undeveloped land. So we got a much lower tax assessment for what it was.
No, absolutely.
But now that the house is there, just the mortgage alone is $2,500 a month. Plus the increase in property taxes now that there's actually a house there.
Plus insurance.
Yeah, now the insurance rate's in Florida too. So it's just like everything is going against them. That piece of property a couple years ago that I could get for $1,500 a month after I had everything financed in that. I had the power, I had the water, I had the, clearing the trees. I had everything financed into putting the septic tank in. All that bullshit was financed into it. I didn't pay for any of that out of pocket. But now, they've got to pay for all of that. So, I mean, it could easily.
How many acres did you have?
5 acres. Yeah.
I thought so,
yeah. It could easily be, $3,500 a month to live at that place now. Based
probably,
on
with everything wrapped into it, it's probably about $3,500 a month, which is insane.
It's crazy. More than doubled the price of the cost of living. Let's say they more than doubled that cost just in the rent and property taxes alone.
No, dude, it's insane. It's completely fucking insane.
Yeah. But he's going to fix it, dude. He's going to fix it. He's going to put price controls in. You're not going to have to pay more than $1,000 a month for rent. Don't worry about how much your hamburger costs. You shouldn't even be eating that. You should be eating the bugs.
It's all part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all part of it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think economically we're in for a real fucking shit show. And I just hope that the smart people fucking stand up and say no, because there's a lot of dumbasses out there.
Find yourself a recession-proof job.
It's really hard to find. Yeah, it really is. All right, so we're going to get into something a little bit more fun. We're going to talk about the N-word. And not the fun N-word, though. This is going to be the nationalism word. That was the name of the podcast that Vivek Ramaswamy did with Ann Coulter. Did you see her comments?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I'm sure you did. Of course you did.
I'm a fan of both, so I definitely saw it.
Yeah, I actually like Ann Coulter. She says a lot of.
I like Ann a lot.
Yeah, she says a lot.
She's more right than she's wrong, and when she's wrong, she admits that she's wrong.
Absolutely,
so, got to give her credit where that is, where that's due.
Hold on. ASAP.
But yeah, and also just I'm not going to be able to stay on much past 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Probably have to jump off at 9.
Okay, we won't. We'll make this the last segment then. That's fine. All right. So Ann Coulter, like you were saying, I like a lot of the shit she says. Sometimes she says some off the wall shit. I think she kind of does it for shock value, like especially this time.
It's part of her gimmick.
Yeah. And so, but I respect her, and I think she's got a valid opinion sometimes, and she's worth listening to. So this was her appearing on Vivek Ramaswamy's podcast. He's got a podcast called Truth, where he tries to talk to people. So here we go. Anyway.
Movement. And on this question of nationalism and national identity, somebody I've been fascinated by for a long time and have interacted with on social media, but for the first time we're having at least live form conversation in the offline sense of it. It's Ann Coulter. So Ann, thanks for coming on, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Me too. Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I too am a fan of yours. So I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory. And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during. In fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
So that's the comment.
You paused it perfectly.
Yeah.
You paused it perfectly.
Yep. That's the point that got her in so much fucking trouble. Was just saying, I loved everything you said, but I won't vote for you because you're fucking Indian. Mm-hmm. So the question that I originally had intended was to take this to Swamp Court and ask, is it racist?
It is.
It is? Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's entitled to her fucking opinion.
Yeah, and that
you have a reason. You can vote for anyone for any reason you want. And as people who hold libertarian values, you want to be fucking racist.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to agree with it. Would I rather... I honestly don't care.
Right.
If he's Indian or not.
Right.
He says most of the right things. The thing is with Vivek is I'm not 100% sure if he is honest all the time.
Yeah.
But at the very least, he's saying all the right things.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But and Vivek came out and defended her.
Yep, I have that clip too. We're going to that next.
So
yep.
I mean,
Yeah, there was a whole lot of reaction against her comments, obviously calling her racist and mask off moment, all this kind of bullshit was going around. And then a few, I don't know if it was the next day or it was very shortly after, Vivek went on PBD's podcast and he went and explained the whole situation and how it happened and kind of steel-manned her argument and gave a better, that's the one thing I think Vivek's really good at is, articulating a position and laying it out. Yeah. He's a very good speaker in that way. So
that's why I think he needs to be. I mean, he's not going to be, but he needs to be Trump's VP, and he needs to be the one doing all the talking.
Yeah,
he needs to do all the talking and then bringing Trump in to play the hits.
Yeah,
that's what it should do.
But that's why Trump won't do it because he wants to be the star. Yeah. But anyway, here we go.
So to give you the context here. So I ran this podcast during the presidential campaign. It was called Truth.
Yeah.
I took some time off after the campaign, and now, getting back in the swing of things. So we relaunched the Truth podcast, just relaunched it officially last week. So, get that up on the ground. We'd have good conversations.
Right.
And I wanted to pick on some people who had poked me a little bit on social media or in other ways to be able to, it's kind of boring to just talk about everybody who agrees with the same thing.
Right.
But let's get a little bit of tension from the left, from the right. So I'll bring Ann Coulter on because during the campaign, I don't remember what exactly she said, but on numerous instances would comment on different ways in which I might not be quite qualified to be president, right? So let's get her on and have a conversation. And both of us are interested in the theme of nationalism. I did not expect she would just kick it off right there, get right into the business. And I think it actually made for a really good conversation, believe it or not. Of course, I disagree with hell like her on that being a criteria to be the U.S. president is her description of whether or not you're an Indian. I'm born in the United States. I'm as American as they come. But I thought it actually formed a really strong basis for an honest conversation that we otherwise don't have. Because her view is that
here we go.
In order to actually be a U.S. president, you got to be even more American, right? So you're not fully American if your parents weren't from the United States of America. And in order to trust somebody, the more generations they've been here, let's say you've been here 6 or 7 generations, you have more of what she would call, I think she did call it in the podcast, a security policy. It's like an insurance policy that you know that if you're going to put somebody in that high office, at least you know that they've really, really soaked up what it means to be American. Now, I disagree with that. I disagree with that because you have people in the 7th generation Americans who are the kids of some, I've known many of these people, grow up in the Upper East Side. Some daughter who lives in Brooklyn thinks she's a hippie, talks about hating this country. Well, I don't think that person's any more American than I am just because my parents happen to have been legal immigrants to this country.
So I got 2 questions.
So yeah, he breaks down her point there. Like, and this is what I was saying in the beginning is I think like Anne sometimes will say things that are provocative on purpose. Like, I wouldn't vote for you because you're an Indian. Well, that's not what she really means. What she really means is, I'm not going to vote for you if you don't have this strong background in history in America. And, I think there is a part of, like, I think like you said in the beginning, like, yeah, there's definitely some racism here. But also, it's not like I don't want to say it's not unfounded racism, like that's kind of the point is there's a
Just
actual
validate what she says.
There's an actual argument. Yeah.
Does her having that feeling completely invalidate her point? No, it doesn't. It's just a part of her point.
Right. Yeah. So
it's like saying you wouldn't vote for someone because they're a woman.
Right.
Because I don't think women have the emotional capacity to make the right decisions or saying something on. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
Right. That would be another example. Yeah. Of something people say.
That'd be another example of kind of like what she was saying.
Yeah. So he kind of defended her a little bit, and there was this huge thing that went on Twitter. And then I guess at the end of the podcast, I don't have the clip at the end of the podcast, but I guess at the end of the podcast, she said, I have to skip forward because everybody plays the same clip that we just watched, and I don't want to watch it again. But I guess later in the podcast, he ended up saying something like, I really appreciate having you on and whatever. And people are saying that like he was kissing her ass, like you just been abused and now you're thanking your abuser was kind of like the attitude about it. But anyway, I pulled this clip from The Hill because they have they pulled together a bunch of other reactions to it. So I think this is a good clip to play.
I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president, but I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
Vivek responded.
That's he's the libertarian on the stage. I was going to say.
He's a fucking homo.
He might be.
On X, writing, quote, Ann Coulter told me flat out to my face that she couldn't vote for me because you're an Indian, even though she agreed with me more than most other candidates. I disagree with her, but respect she had the guts to speak her mind. It was
and that's like the compliment that he gave that everybody's criticizing.
A riveting hour.
Many took issue with Vivek's journalist Zed Jelani wrote on X, quote, okay, what level of simp is Vivek on here that he's like, well, she absolutely hates me for my ethnicity, but I really respect her. Journalist and CEO of Zato News wrote, quote, you respect that she was openly and crudely racist to your face? Sheesh, the things that brown folks will do to be accepted by the white supremacy wing of the GOP. That was Mehdi Hassan. And co-founder of Based Politics, Brad Palumbo, wrote, so Ann Coulter is just racist and you don't even stand up for yourself in the face of blatant racism? Yeah, this was a tough one to try to parse.
I mean, all three of those people that they quoted on there are a bunch of fucking cucks online.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes, every single one of them are fucking the worst types of people that you want. Like Brad Palumbo is like maybe the least worst out of all of them.
Right.
Hassan is a piece of shit. That first person is like the most establishment freaking. I can't even tell if they're right wing or left wing, but they're like ooze establishment talking points.
So
and then Brad Palumbo is we don't need to get it.
Yeah. These he's at the base of that totem pole. Anyway, these two here, there's some history going on here that you may not be aware of. This is a progressive, this is a libertarian, and they consistently get into arguments. And the arguments have been getting more and more heated recently over the Israel-Palestine stuff. She's obviously like pro-Palestine and the whole thing. He's not pro-Israel. He's anti-interventionist would be a better description of him. But anyway, they've been fighting a whole bunch. And so those three people being a piece of shit is no coincidence. considering who pulled the sources.
No, for sure.
Is what I'm getting at. But yeah, so Robbie's going to go in there. This guy here, he's going to go in and defend it a little bit and kind of give. You'll see why I like Robbie, because Robbie does a better job. He might be gay, but he's a cool gay.
I kind of understand it. In this kind of alternative, independent media landscape.
Oh yeah, this is her. This is her description of like, you know, like why Vivek reacted the way he did.
Try to parse, although I do think I kind of understand it. In this kind of alternative, independent media landscape of which we are a part, admitting to being offended by someone being racist, even if they are blatantly and explicitly so, has been characterized as being sensitive or a snowflake, and your kind of merit in this space is all about how much you can withstand. Now, the irony of that is that it's people who are the subjects of racism that are being asked to do all the withstanding among a bunch of, you know, white, male, predominant members of this community that do all of the offending. And it's just your job to sit there and say, oh, I don't notice someone's being racist. If I say the word racist, they better be able to prove it because there's a body swinging from a tree with a Ku Klux Klan person standing nearby. Otherwise, you lose credibility in the space. And this seems to be the end point of where all that leads. Vivek sitting across from someone saying, I like you, but I will not vote for you because of your ethnicity. And him saying, yes, I respect that she had the guts to say a racism out loud.
So that's her perspective on it. I think it's interesting because I feel like the same way about, you know, lefty commentators. If you watch a lot of their stuff, even the white ones, they got to sit there and take all the white hate. And they just kind of got to have to accept it. Like, yes, this is my privilege. This is my job is to sit here and be sorry for everything else that you've done. So it's kind of weird that she sees it one way, but she doesn't see it the other way. She looks at the right and she's like, all these colored people on the right, they have to sit there and take the abuse. But she doesn't recognize all the people on the left that do the exact same thing. I thought that was an interesting point.
She doesn't see it as abuse.
Yeah, she doesn't see it that way because it's justice. You know, they're getting what's come to them, basically. Yeah, so tired of identity politics. Definitely right there, Joey. But, you know, Robbie's going to come in and he's going to steel man the argument a little bit. And it's interesting because he kind of agrees.
Yeah, I listened to a little bit more of that interview, and she then was saying, I mean, the reason she gave is that she thinks that immigrants from other parts of the world, including India, are hostile to American values, constitutional values, including the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, free speech, and gun rights.
Shut your fucking mouth, bitch.
The problem with that being that Vivek is not even an immigrant. He was born in America. So if you're saying that you think, and again, she's admitting that she mostly agrees with him, so then she can't say that, well, I would fear you would be against my values on free speech and other things because you were brought into this country or something. That clearly doesn't apply to him because A, he is a stated someone who agrees with those values from your perspective and is not actually an immigrant. So then what else is it other than racism? What could it be other than racism? Which is why she certainly invited that accusation, and I don't know how you can get around it. It's as close rhetorically as the swinging noose as you can find.
Ohio.
And to me, that disqualifies him more than being Indian, if I'm being honest.
But then again, you know, I think more presidents have been from Ohio than any other state. So.
Dude, listen, you watch this shit. Watch.
I don't know that it gets more American than that. Ohio has had more presidents, fun fact, I know because my mother is obsessed with talking about presidential factoids, than any other state in the...
See what I'm fucking saying? You watched this shit. You knew.
I did not know that shit.
That's like the second or third time it's happened during this show where you.
Well, because I know my shit.
But no, I think the Ohio.
I'm not as retarded as I look.
I think the Ohio thing disqualifies Vivek more than anything else. Ohio, I used to say when I was driving over the road, Ohio is the gateway to hell. I fucking hate Ohio. Every time I went into Ohio, something bad happened. And then while I was in Ohio, this is the only time an ATM machine has ever stole my money. Stole $600 from me in Ohio. Fuck Ohio.
Ohio's the worst place. I'll never go back to Ohio ever again.
I
went there once in 2001.
Yeah.
When I was visiting my brother who lived up there in like shit ass freaking like Akron or wherever the fuck he was. And then I promised myself I would never go back again because it was miserable. And my best friend lives in Cincinnati and I will not go visit him. I'm like, dude, you gotta come back home to Florida. I am not going. He's a doctor. He's got all the fucking money. He lives in a nice place in Cincinnati. No, I'm not gonna fucking go. I'm not gonna go visit you. I'm not gonna cross that fucking line. The only time I'm gonna cross in Ohio is to drive through it to go somewhere else.
That's right.
If I have to.
Right. Yeah. It's the gateway to hell because it was the gateway to the Northeast. It's like the worst fucking part of town to ever drive in. And just all the worst people that you know in Florida, they're either from Ohio or New York. That's where they're from.
New Jersey.
Yeah. Well, see, but I like Rich and I do like Josh. And so, I can't they're both from Jersey. I got to give them some props. There's at least some people from Jersey that I prefer.
It's a Jersey thing.
Yeah, it's a Jersey thing. I wouldn't understand. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was interesting. I do think I don't know, because like TYT and other people are taking her comments and saying like, it's a mask off moment. She's definitely a racist. This is the whole thing. I don't know that Ann Coulter's racist. I think she says provocative things to try to make her point, and that was it. I think Robbie did a pretty good job of like separating it. Well, he believes all these things you said. He's not actually an immigrant. He does qualify under the Constitution, but you're still not against him. So maybe she's a little racist, but
Well, here's
aren't
the
we
thing.
all?
They've been calling Ann Coulter racist for 20 years.
Yeah, that doesn't bother her at all. Yeah,
No, she doesn't give two shits.
Yep.
She's been like the number one person on the anti-illegal immigration front.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For 20, 30 years, and they've been calling her racist for that forever. So, what's one more thing? And that it doesn't mean anything anymore. It's a word that really doesn't mean anything anymore, especially when you're on that level. Oh, you call her racist? Okay.
What next?
What is calling her racist how is that gonna affect her?
It doesn't affect her, but it signals to all of your audience that you're progressive, you're woke, you understand, you recognize the power hierarchy. That's what it does. It doesn't do anything to Ann Coulter, but it bolsters the base of people who try to profit off calling her racist.
Yeah, to try but here's the thing: all the people that are gonna sit, no one who listens to Ann Coulter is going to stop listening to her because someone like her calls her racist.
Right.
And all the people that she's signaling to hated Ann Coulter to begin with.
Right. No, I agree with that.
That shows the bullshit whole dynamic. Anyways, so.
Well, I know you got to go soon. Do you think we got time to go through this round robin?
Yeah, real quick, we can hit it.
All right, let's go to it because I think you and I will have an interesting conversation about this. And to all the boys of the swamp that are pissed that I'm doing this without them, fuck you guys, because you didn't tell me till the day of that you weren't going to be here. So it's me and Duke doing it. All right, so first round of the round robin. So basically what he did was he put up 10 polls, putting each candidate head to head, each of the major candidates. There's some people that aren't in here that honestly don't deserve to be there. So, and that includes you, I'm sorry. But, so these were the candidates. So Josh Smith versus Mike Termott. I know you're going to say Josh.
Yes.
I kind of agree with you. What I want to kind of do is like go through each one and just say like why. So I think Mike to me comes off as like a plastic politician. He's got all of his lines well rehearsed. He knows what to say, and some of his answers are pretty good. Like I think his answer to the Aleppo thing is actually pretty good, but it's so well rehearsed that it comes off as fake, and he's not a genuine candidate in my view. And like you said, he's kind of wasting his talent everywhere. Josh knows what he's doing. Josh isn't trying to get 5. I don't know if he says he's going to get 5% or whatever, because I think a lot of them
I've heard him say some shit, but Josh is a bombastic individual.
Right.
He is.
MTM glows in the dark.
He's charismatic.
Yeah.
He knows the game.
Yeah.
And I know Josh. I've met Josh on several occasions. I'm friendly with Josh, and so I'm going to go with Josh over Mike Termott.
Yeah.
Mike Termott is better as an advisor if he's going to be in this kind of role, because he does have some decent ideas, but no, he's not going to inspire anyone to vote for him.
Right. I think Josh will like take that hardcore messaging that we like, that you and I like so much. I think he'll definitely take that and run with it. So it's nice to see that Josh beat out Mike Termott. It gives me hope. All right. So Mike Termott versus Chase. I got to go Mike. I can't go Chase for anything. I just can't.
No. I go Mike Termott simply because, yes, I think he actually has decent ideas, and his whole like the Gold New Deal or whatever
Yeah.
he's trying to push, that kind of stuff.
Very
He's good on
cheesy,
those
but it's
things.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good on monetary policy and all that kind of stuff. I just can't get behind Chase because I don't think someone running their campaign out of their mother's basement is something that's, because that was like something that they like pushed when he was running for Senate. It's like, oh, he's running it out of his mother's basement. It's like, well, he's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's
that
running
makes him a
around.
joke. Yeah.
Yeah, he's running around. He's doing all these things. He's still too freaking lefty on the gay trans stuff. Like he's all about. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, armed queers are harder to oppress. It's like, yeah, I want everyone to have guns.
Yeah.
But shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah, I agree with
You
that.
know?
Give the trannies guns, but like don't then say like, okay, there's nothing wrong with Drag Queen Story Hour. Like there definitely is. You shouldn't be fucking doing that. And we talked about that on the show a couple episodes ago. Bill Maher laid that out pretty flatly. So yeah, no, I think Mike Termott's definitely the better of those two. Lars Mapstead versus Mike Termott. I'm still going Mike. Yeah, I'm still going Mike. I think Lars is a phony campaign from the get. I think we go all in for Lars around here, but that's just the joke because at the end of the day, really, I don't think he's a real candidate. I think like he's doing the Bloomberg approach. Can he buy the LP? I said before, if Vermin Supreme ever won the actual Libertarian Party presidential nomination, that is the day the Libertarian Party dies because it gave up on whatever it was trying to accomplish, recognized it was a joke, and threw everything in the trash. I say the same thing about the Lars Mapstead campaign. The day that Lars Mapstead wins is the day that the Libertarian Party dies because it proves that the Libertarian vote can be bought. I don't think it can be bought. I don't think he has a chance in hell of winning, but that's what his campaign represents to me. And so I don't think that that's good. Michael Rectenwald versus Josh Smith. This is a good one.
Josh Smith.
You're still voting Josh.
Still voting Josh. Rectenwald is about as charismatic as a wet paper bag.
Okay.
And he might be good on everything now. I cannot vote for a former communist.
Okay, I'm going to push the button and see what it says. Oh, shit. I did not expect that, like such a big gap. I actually think Rectenwald probably has the strongest chance to win at convention, but I think that has a lot more to do with who's going to actually show up. I think like Josh definitely has a lot more online support, and I think this poll is another indication of that.
I mean, do you want me to wait to the very end to let
Yeah,
me
yeah.
who I think is actually
Oh
going to win?
yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. All right, Chase Oliver, Rectenwald. Got to be Rectenwald, right?
Rectenwald,
Yep. We're just gonna skip Lars and Chase. That's a good fight. You're gonna say Chase. Why do you pick Chase over Lars?
Because I told you I think Lars is everything that's wrong with the LP, and he's a complete and fucking joke.
Okay, so because what I've been hearing is that when Lars gets knocked out, not if, when Lars gets knocked out, his support goes to Chase, whatever that's worth. And that's
going to tie into what I say at the end.
Okay, good. Josh Smith versus Lars. I'm definitely going Josh. 1,000,000%. This should be like 99-1. Michael Rectenwald versus Mike Termott.
Rectenwald.
You're picking Rectenwald over Termott. Why is that? Oh, it's the opposite. Oh, this is the first time we're against the storm.
Yeah, because I respect a lot of the people that are backing him.
Okay.
And he does. He does say. I mean, he is a former commie. And I know I just said I would not vote for a former commie or Marxist or whatever he was, but.
You'd vote for a former commie over a cop? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
commie over a COVID cop.
I think this one's really tough because
it is a hard one. But my gut just felt like I could have gone either way with it, but just I went with the first thing that came out of my mouth, and the first thing that came out of my mouth was Rectenwald.
Yeah, I think there's more, like you said, there's a lot more people that I respect that are supporting Rectenwald than are supporting Mike Termott. That's nothing to say bad against Mike.
Yeah.
Like you said, great conversation, great guy. I don't know. That one's a really tough one. Chase versus Josh, definitely Josh. Not even close. How is this one closer than Lars and Map? Okay, next. Lars versus Rectenwald. You're going to say Rectenwald. I'm going to say Rectenwald. 69.9. Love it. Glad we got it in there just in time. Okay, that's it. Sharon, let the most candidate win. So I guess going back to the original question, who do we think is going to win at the end?
Chase Oliver is going to win.
What?
I will put money on it right now that Chase Oliver is going
Oh
to win.
my gosh. I'm betting you money.
It is ranked choice voting.
No shit. Wait, who said that?
It's ranked choice voting. You didn't know that?
No, hold on. Ranked choice voting. I'm looking it up right now. Where did you hear this?
The vote for LP presidential candidate is ranked choice voting. And there are so many people that are not going to vote for Josh and Michael Rectenwald as on their ballot at all. So many of these people that are going to be voting for Lars and all these other people, Mike Tremont, they're going to have Chase on their ballot. And the people that have Chase on their ballot will not have Josh or Rectenwald on their ballot.
Where did you hear this? This is the first time I'm ever hearing this. Legit.
I could be wrong.
I think you're wrong.
I'm 99% positive that the vote for that's why Joe Jorgensen won. Because it was fucking ranked choice voting.
She did not win on ranked choice voting. Is this true?
She did.
Somebody in the fucking no way. Joe Jorgensen. See, now you just fucking threw everything for a loop. Joe Jorgensen, ranked choice voting. Let's see. Because, and the reason I say this is because I went to the Libertarian Party website, lp.org or whatever the fuck it's called. And you go through, we're fucking autists, dude. We go and we read the rules and we figure out how to play the game and what all the fucking bylaws say and all this bullshit. And if you look at the Libertarian Party convention rules, I'm pulling it up right now. Presidential campaigns, blah, blah, blah. Only at regular. Okay, so this is it. I got it up here. So nominations for the candidate of president and vice president may only be made at regular convention immediately preceding presidential election. No candidate may be nominated, blah, 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 in the event of the death, blah, blah, blah. National committee shall respect the vote of the delegates at nominating conventions. A candidate nomination. Anyway, the voting procedure for it's laid out in the bylaws. Basically that they have to go, it's like only like the first, if you don't get 5% or whatever, you fall off the ballot or whatever. And it just goes like that until it's like 5% or the last place person falls off. And that's how you have your rounds of voting.
That's called ranked choice voting.
But it's not the same.
It's very similar.
It's very similar, but
it's
when you say ranked choice voting,
they're going to keep doing rounds until they get to someone, until people fall off.
Whoa.
The people that are going to be voting for a lot of these other candidates are not going to vote for Josh.
So you're saying by the time they get to the second, third, fourth round, because when you say ranked choice voting, what I'm envisioning is one single ballot. You rank all of your choices and then they put it in the machine and it gives you the answer. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm not saying the word
right
properly, but they go multiple rounds and people keep falling off. And eventually I'm envisioning.
How do you think that happens? Like, okay, like let's say round one, who falls off first? I'm taking out all the meme candidates for sure. Who do you think makes the 5% threshold? Let's start there.
The people that are going to make the 5% threshold on the first voter will be the big names.
Yeah. Josh,
Chase, Josh, Lars, Rectenwald, and Mike Tremont. Those five.
No Hornberger. He's out.
I don't think Hornberger will make it.
I think you're right on that. I don't think he's going to make that.
Mm-hmm. No. Toad, unfortunately, probably will not.
Yep. Okay, so those five make it. Who falls first?
Tremont.
You think Tremont falls before Lars?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's crazy.
He's got the money. He's got the money. Then he was going to fall, like you said, everyone that's going to vote for Lars.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said Mike falls first, but
Mike falls first.
So
I think people that are going to vote for Mike are going to vote for Chase over Josh and.
Whoa! I don't. You're throwing me for a loop all night tonight. I don't know because the people that I know that are supporting Mike Tremont right now, these are Mises and former Mises people. I don't see how they vote for Chase.
I think Josh burned a lot of bridges by jumping in this thing with the Mises caucus crowd.
Okay.
And
so why wouldn't they go for Rectenwald? Why would they go for Chase? That seems like the opposite.
No, because Chase is going to have so much other support. He's going to have all the other support.
So you think Lars is going to drop next? Is where you're going with this? After Mike Tremont drops out,
Lars,
you've got Chase, Josh, Lars, and I'm missing somebody. Rectenwald. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
No.
So Lars drops
I
next, and Lars goes to Chase, right? We're on the same page on that?
Everyone that votes for Lars is going to go to Chase.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think
And then
you're...
one of those three is going to fall out.
All right, so
I
now...
think it'll probably come down to Rec and Chase, and I think
Okay.
Chase is going to win it.
So Josh falls next.
Probably.
Why did
Because he's
people
burned a
that...
lot of bridges.
But if Josh makes it that far, and he's a like third, fourth place candidate, why do all those people go to Chase? That doesn't make sense to me.
I have a gut feeling, man. I don't know. I might be completely wrong. I probably am completely wrong.
You said you're going to put money on it. I'm willing to put money
I'll
on
put
it.
money on it. I'll put $50 on that Chase Oliver is going to be the fucking
All right, I got you. 50. I'm going 50 on Rectenwald. So you got Chase, I got Rectenwald. That's where our money's at. Money where the mouth is. Okay.
I do not think.
Yeah.
I do not think the MC has as much power as they did in the last.
I agree with that. I agree 100%. I just don't think that. I think
Angela is going to eke by.
What?
I think she's going to eke by.
I don't think that's close at all, dude. I think she kills it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I just maybe because I haven't been around the party the last year.
Yeah.
Because I was at last year's convention. I wasn't at
Who's going to beat her? Who's going to eke her by?
No, I don't know. I think there's just going to be a lot of people that are going to be protest votes.
Maybe.
Especially
Yeah.
because of the Trump thing. I think the Trump thing is going to hurt her a lot.
Okay. That's an interesting point. Yes.
Mhm.
Because there's a lot of people that are upset about that. The libertarians in the hall. We made fun of them last
And a lot of
podcast.
people.
Yeah.
There are people that you would not expect to be like a lot of people at the Libertarian Institute are pissed off about it.
Right.
Freaking like there's a lot
That's
of
a good
people
point.
that you would not expect to be pissed off about or pissed off about it.
Yeah. I know
Especially
the
a lot of MC people. There are a lot of MC people that are pissed.
I know the answer to this, but I would put it up anyway.
I mean, the only person I know that's running is Clinton. I think Clint's going to win it.
I think so too. Well, okay, Larry Sharp's running as well, but he's running as Lars's VP. So I think once Lars loses, I think Larry drops out.
I think Clint has it.
Yeah.
Probably. He's got the biggest platform. He doesn't have really any enemies in
Right.
the party.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising. All the shit he says on Tower Gang.
Josh has too many enemies.
Yeah, he's pissed a lot of people off for sure.
Yeah. And I love Josh, but he's got too many enemies.
Yeah.
And no, I fear that Chase is gonna squeeze it out somehow. He's gonna squeeze it out somehow, man. And it's yeah. all the
Wait,
people
what
that-
happens when Josh fails and runs for VP? I don't think he's going to do it.
He's not gonna do that.
I don't think he's going to do that either.
I don't think he's gonna do that at all. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Me and you, $50. I'll
Yeah.
send it to your Cash App or Venmo or whatever.
Whatever, dude. There's gonna be a show. So we do it every Tuesday. There's gonna be a show right after the convention is over, and so we'll revisit this and we'll see how it goes. I think it's gonna be Rec. You think it's gonna be Chase? Hey, if we're both wrong, then we'll do a shot together, I guess.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, we're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for coming on with me, Duke. Hopefully to see you around on the next show. You got anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Not really. Just follow me at Twitter on DK_Chastain. In there talking shit.
Yes, sir.
Often just to myself, but having a good
No
time
worries.
anyways.
Yeah, so his link will be down in the description. Also down there as well. Join the Discord. Follow us on Twitter. Check out the next Swampcast. We'll be here next Tuesday. It is scheduled to be a Rob show. We'll see if Rob actually shows. All right, everybody. All right, everybody.